Good evening, this is Nerds the Human, and welcome to this AI-only Battle Royale in Rome Total War. And this time, we have ourselves a Chariot-only affair. It's definitely rare to see these go in head-to-head against each other, so this one should be intriguing. We've got ourselves 5,000 denarii for each faction, and to kick things off, we've got the Rebels, who of course have the Amazonian Chariots. They are though missile units, so I'm going to stick with the normal limit of 2 unless you have a general. So yes, Egyptian Chariot General being thrown in here, along with some British heavy chariots and some Egyptian chariots as well. Rebels do have a decent little variety there. That one should certainly be intriguing. Yes, I'm guessing we can't use up that last 50 denarii. The Seleucids have themselves the scythed chariots, golden sword on them. They're looking pretty darn tasty. Quite expensive though, not an awful lot of men on the battlefield. We have the Pontics with their 2 horse archers, or the chariot archers even, as well as those same kind of scythed chariots. They should be intriguing. The missiles certainly can be cutting apart the other chariots, so that is an advantage to look out for. Egyptians with their Egyptian Chariot General, as well as their 2 chariot archers. Yeah, they've got plenty of men in this fight. As for the Britons, well, they could be a sneaky favourite here. They do, of course, have the general unit himself, as well as their British heavy chariots and the lights. They are much, much cheaper than their scythed counterparts. But can the power of those guys somehow gain themselves a victory? Who knows? This one could be very chaotic indeed. We'll have to head into battle and see how they fare. We'll see who makes it out on top of the grassy flatlands map. As ever, medium difficulty, yada yada yada. Yes, we are trying to make it as balanced as possible, but it's also completely nonsensical. So we'll just see who comes out on top.
And so it begins! We Romans never seek war, but having come to battle, we will not leave until it is over! Today we march against the loathsome and horrid Seleucid army. Their practices against the defeated are so terrible that I cannot bring myself to speak of them. They are not alone. The Britons are present in force, and they should never be ignored in battle. They have been brought to the battlefield by muling infants instead of leaders. They outnumber us by a significant margin, but so what? One of them is worth less than the dirt beneath a toenail. This day will see much cavalry fighting. Both sides are packed with horsemen. The seer can offer no guidance for this day, so we must grasp our own fates and make what we will of them with an iron purpose. Now, take up the sword, string your bow, look to your arms and armor. Now comes the hour when we test Roman courage!
Into battle we go then, and the Seleucids right next to us, as well as the Britons, of course. That's why they're mentioned in their speech. And, well, don't expect too much sense in terms of my following of this battle. It's going to be a chaotic mess. Of course, though, anyone with missiles is going to be greatly advantaged. These guys have none, so they just need to either hang back or just get right on into the battle. Egyptian heavy chariots coming straight on into the side. The classic Seleucid versus Egyptian battles going on here. Pretty much what you'd expect. And I'm not sure what's happening, but it seems like the Egyptians are mostly getting torn apart here. I think these Seleucid chariots do have a tiny bit more on the hit point side of things, but it's mostly just a massive mess. Yeah, actually, the Egyptian guys have been ripped apart by the Seleucids. Of course, chariots, there's going to be a lot of running amok going on here, and that could be interesting, because if they're all running amok, of course, then they've lost the battle, but as long as one unit's still fighting, then the running amok doesn't really matter that much. There we are, that's the Seleucids running amok apart from one unit now, so whilst they can cause a lot of damage, there goes the rebel general. Oh no, that was actually the Egyptian one. Fair enough, fair enough. Obviously we have one who looks very similar to that, but I think it's a Roman lad actually in the general seat. Nonetheless, yeah, Seleucids are in trouble here, aren't they? Yeah, they haven't got an awful lot left, and the Pontic counterparts are coming on into battle. They do have plenty of missiles still. It looks like the Briton general is fleeing. That looks pretty familiar, him dying in battle. If you haven't seen the Briton campaign of King Arthur, I'm sure you'll see lots of chaotic death of the generals. It seems to be something very common on that particular affair. This is very hard to follow. It's a lot of very quick routing. It's all just going amok over here. Yeah, these chariots in particular seem to be doing that. That does seem to be the Pontic general fleeing at this point. And yeah, these guys are pretty dangerous even when they're running amok, but they could shoot them down if they had any of their missile guys still around. But these are the scythed lads. Where are the others? Oh, down goes the scythed general. Many of them down here, and the Egyptians look like they're in pretty good health actually. They're looking pretty good health. The Britons have been shredded. Not entirely sure how that's happened, but they're still pushing against what remains of my rebels here. Enough missiles that, yeah, it looks like the rebels have managed to maneuver themselves pretty well here. These head-on charges just are so chaotic. Absolute nonsense. Yeah, I think just use your missiles, lads. Use your missiles. And we do have our chariot ladies, of course, Amazonians, doing some excellent work here. They will be shooting them down. Don't bother chasing them, lads. Don't bother chasing them. It'll be fine. But yeah, I'd say these Amazonians have a very good chance of winning out in the long run. Although most factions do have some missiles. We'll just have to see who can hold them as long as possible. But the rebels are looking pretty good right now. Looks like the British light chariots, only 10 of them there. Not an awful lot. Egyptians have a lot of numbers, as we said at the start, and that should work very much to their favour. Yeah, they also have 3 units of archers having the missile general, much like we do. So, okay, what have we got left? We've got these guys running them up, but they've left the battlefield. Oh no, they can't influence things anymore now. Ah, Stevie, the Roman general, just died, so that's not great, but rebels still looking strong. It looks like most of it is now pulling together. We have one Egyptian chasing off the Pontics in the distance. Pontics still in it, of course, having chased off the Seleucids. First to go down as ever in life. It absolutely rings true. Okay, so we do have Amazonians here along with the British chariots. They're doing some good work. We're just having a bit of a, yeah, a bit of an arrow fest over here. That's fine. That's fine, absolutely. I'm very much on the side of these ladies here. Come on, girls, you've absolutely got this, surely. They are down to 36. They're down to 6. I'm just going to send in, yeah, going to send in the other unit. Why not? Frighten them. Make them flee. I think the rebels are looking very strong here. Down goes the British general. Yeah, a little bit slower than you might well expect for those guys, but he's gone now. And that looks like the British are completely gone at this point. I believe so. Egypt's then. Egypt looking okay. Now, the only thing that might save Pontus here is that they've done the classic stay back, well, chase people off the field. And that means that they've managed to hold something back. But it's not a lot. One chariot back there and some more scythed here. They haven't got the missiles. Some of them running amok. Could be helpful. Most likely not. This is very much the rebels to lose at this point. But every time I've said that on the cavalry campaigns... oh dear, they've not ended up losing, but they seem to have cleared off the Egyptians mostly at this point. Well done, my Amazonians. If you betted on them, yep, I suspect that would have been the very sensible bet, and it looks like it's going to come to fruition. And it looks like, oh, just a full-on charge there, guys. Excellent stuff. But yeah, the British heavy chariots actually cleared off there by the general. Sorry, that was on super speed. But yeah, I don't think they actually killed any of them. Entire massacre for them. Probably some extra hit points on these guys, just making the difference. And we've got, yeah, the chariots over there. So at this point, the rebels have their 2 Amazonian chariots, but lost everything else. But those missiles are doing the job, and that's cleared him off. It's just these chariot archers now, and they're being picked off as well. Yeah, we've got all the Amazonians left. I say we, obviously, with the Rebel Anarchy here on the channel. Very much supporting them. Ferris bowmen on these, though, do look pretty darn cool, it should be said. But down they go. Yeah, that armour isn't doing them any good, quite frankly. At this point, then, 2 units of Amazonians to take out these 3 chariots. And, well, these guys are nowhere to be seen. Oh, hi. Hi, Mr. Sneaky over there. Trying to win that way, are we? Not sure it's going to work, and actually charging this guy down when he runs amok is probably not going to help, is it? Probably not very sensible. These are more Pontic lads. You might give him a go. Yeah, no, he's fled. He is fled, and that means it's down to this. Pretty much entirely down to this. Yeah, those guys are gone in the meantime. So we have Seleucid's long dead. We have the scythed chariots. Those words are similar or something. These are so glorious. I mean, of course, we have had the Pontic campaign, the Pontic live stream recently on the channel here. And we've looked at these guys on the battlefield strategy, and they are obviously pretty darn demonic. Can they do it though? 3 and 16. I mean, these archers are surely going to pick them off as they arrive here. You'd certainly think that. In come the missiles. Now, these do have the 4 hit points as opposed to the general 2. I think it's 2 on a lot of these. What do we have? We have 2 hit points, yeah, but we have so many extra numbers here. Ooh, can they just get the charge in? If they could pick these off, I mean, they will certainly win if they actually hit them. But they're not doing it just yet. Tense. Very tense. They're turning away. No, Pontus, you had a chance. You had a chance there. Maybe they're trying to pull them towards their routing lads, or the ones who are running amok. Perhaps so. We'll speed this up and see if they want to do anything. They're getting close, though. Ooh, Amazonians, you're going to be in trouble if they hit you here. You need to stick back a little bit more than you are. Oh, no, it's victory! Oh, gods be praised. They've run amok. They've run amok like the crazy dogs they are. All right. Well, perhaps unsurprisingly, the greatest of all Chariot are the Amazonians. Victory and glory, as you might well expect. There we have it then. It looks like the rebels actually got nearly the most kills. Well done to the Egyptians. They did a pretty darn good job, but I would say a pretty clear result there. Yeah, those scythed chariots are very effective, but their smaller numbers just didn't really do it. Pontus really were just running off into the distance, shooting them down. They got less kills probably because they were taking on the Seleucids, to be fair, but even so, Seleucids got plenty of kills. But yeah, the chaos of the scythed chariots, not enough by itself. As you might have seen if you've seen the scythed chariot only campaign. That was interesting. I say campaign, it's a one-off episode. It's not too long, but it's a fun little exploration. So do go and have a look at that. I'll put it in the end card there. But okay, a pretty decent and fair result all around here. But these are certainly the strongest of the units, I would say. Thank you for joining me then on this AI-only affair. We shall be having more random battle royales in the future, but it is time for a new series on Barbarian Invasion. There will be a fair bit of modding involved, so I hope you will join me for that. In the meantime, we may have more random lineups of battle royale affairs, so do continue to give me your suggestion for special lineups in the comments below. I know we did talk about Chariot Ballistas. They're having a little bit of a fuss about being modded in, so I'll do a little bit more work on that editing, but we'll definitely see the Chariot Ballistas in with some of these cavalry at some point in the near future. Don't worry about that. You can, of course, though, support the channel by becoming a member here or on Patreon, by liking, subscribing, and also by getting involved in the comments. I hope you will join us next time. For now, though, I will leave you. I'm Tenodus Human. Thank you, friends, and tally-ho. They're bracing, but they're bracing in the wrong direction, which is probably for the best. Okay, they're turning around. No! It's too late. It's too late. There goes their general. That's another break, most likely. And there we are. That's how you chariot.